Shalom, family. This is Yuda.
And Marina.
Oh, we got Marina with us today, y'all. Y'all been asking me to bring her, so here she is. Listen, a while back, some months, I don't know exactly how many, I told y'all about a vision. At the time I told you, I called it a dream. Today, me and my wife was talking about it, and I realized that was a vision. That was not a dream. There was too many things that stood out that separated the vision from being just a dream. But anyway, I finally understand my vision. This is what I saw. That's Dudael in Saudi Arabia in the desert. This is where the fallen angels are in prison. Now, in my dream, it didn't really have a beginning like a storyline. It just took off from me in a position. It was like I was laying down and standing up at the same time. And I remember sharing this with you guys. And I remember telling you that as soon as I understood why I saw this, that I would come back and share this with you. And the best conversation I had today was when Marina was sharing what she saw as I went over that vision again with her, and she made some very amazing contributions to that vision that I missed. For example, I missed the part where while the people, and these people, they were us, and when I say us, you know who I mean. They all of us had on white robes. I mean, they were white, and they were trimmed in gold, all the way down around the neck, down the center, and around the bottom fringe of the robe. I forgot that part. And I noticed that every one of us that walked through this river, and I now think I know what river that was. We all stepped on what I thought was an eye. I thought this was an eye, and if you look at it close, you can see why I would have thought that. And we all had on sandals. We were dressed like we were dressing in those ancient days. And as we talked about this, she opened up some things that I completely missed. I always felt like there was something missing, but I could never put my finger on it. And I think I'm going to wait until the end to tell you what this river is. But before we get to that point, I remember laying down and standing at the same time, and I could see what I thought was an eye looking back at me. And I'm looking back at it, trying to figure out what is this staring at me. And as I watched this image, I was watching the feet, and it was always the right foot of each one of us that stepped on this image as we passed. And then I remember looking up across the river, and I saw these people approaching. And instantly I knew, I told everybody, look, those are Amalekites. And as they approached the edge of this river, there must have been some kind of odor that they could not deal with. And I saw them grabbing their stomachs and their noses as if though they smelled something that was terribly, terribly stinking. And they backed up. But we never stopped, and we didn't smell anything. Everything was natural and normal for us. And they backed up. They were throwing up, pulling their clothes over their faces to try to get rid of the scent or the odor. And the people kept walking. So this is what I believe the Creator was showing me. As you all know, you all have, at least I assume, that you've been paying attention to what's going on around you, especially in the continent of Africa and the so-called Middle East, Gaza in particular. So before we get to the end of this vision, I want to try to paint a picture to help you follow me through where this is actually going. We were talking about the Gaza Strip and how Trump said that he was going to clean Gaza out. And a lot of things about what he says and what they're doing is not making a lot of sense. So in one point, they were bombing and shelling the northern part of Gaza, killing millions, I assume.
Yeah.
And now they call for a ceasefire, right? Okay. They called for a ceasefire, and they instructed the people, 300,000?
Mm-hmm.
Now this number, 300,000, and there were over 2 million in the beginning. Where is the other 17, what is it? 1,700,000. Where are they? Nobody's talking about them. So we figured they must already be dead. So now we got these 300,000 that they're manipulating to move to the southern end of Gaza. And we couldn't help but wonder why there's nothing there. All right, they're supposed to be going back to the southern end of Gaza to rebuild. Well, what about food, water, all those things you mentioned?
Actually, I want to correct you. It wasn't, they were coming from the southern end. That's where they were reported to first. Then, since they continued to bomb them in the southern end, and all they wanted to ceasefire because they wanted their hostages back. So that's where they come to an agreement of a ceasefire so they can exchange hostages. So after they've done that, then they're claiming, and Biden was saying at the end of his presidency that he wanted them to end the war. So in his presidency, to make Trump look bad, I guess.
Right, yeah.
So Trump saying, well, I just want to clean out Gaza. I want to clean it out. For what? We don't know. But now they're being forced to leave the southern part of Gaza and return to the northern part of Gaza, which was decimated. It's decimated. Where are they going? They go back to the property where their homes stood, and there's nothing there. And so now aid has to come through and help them rebuild. Rebuild what? There's nothing there.
Nothing but rubble.
So Trump says, I'm going to ask Egypt and I'm going to ask Jordan to take these people in. That's his way of cleaning out Gaza, getting rid of the last of the Palestinians. So that's where I get this whole ceasefire thing is actually to follow through Trump's instructions to clean out Gaza.
And you got to ask, why are they trying to clean it out? Is it for a good reason, or is it for a bad reason? Or is it really him that's making these decisions?
Right.
What would they benefit from cleaning out Gaza? I mean, totally wiping out the people.
Well, Israel is thinking about taking over Gaza and moving in.
Exactly. which brings me to this point. For years, people have claimed that these so-called Israelis are in a fake land. Think about that for a minute, because I was one of those people that
Yeah, me too.
thought so too. But as you think about that, the scripture says that we must wait until the Gentiles' time is up, until they have trodden down the land. Well, what sense would it make if they were on land that was insignificant to the scriptures? This land has to be directly connected to the scriptures.
Gaza.
They're not on any fake land. They are on the real land. Yeah, I know it was supposed to be desolate, and it was. The Rothschilds, the Bilderbergers, they went over, purchased that land,
Was desolate.
and it was desolate. And then I remember years ago reading how they were importing trees and plants and all this stuff, digging rivers and lakes and whatnot. They recreated the image of this land from what was in the scriptures. So they're not on a fake land. That is the real land. And I used to wonder, if the Bible says that all the nations are going to come against Israel, if Israel is desolate, what would be the point? There has to be somebody there, right? And it's not us. Whether y'all realize it or not, we've been hidden. May not seem like it to you, but everybody's going after the wrong people. Just like when all these churches in the United States were sending money to Israel instead of the real Jew. They're not on fake land. They're on the real McCoy. And they know it. So back to my vision. Well, let me say this first. Well, no, let me just go ahead and go through this vision, because if I go through this vision, I will be telling you what I just wanted to tell you right now, and I'll be getting ahead of myself. Go right ahead.
I asked Google where was the kingdom of Judah located, and guess where it was? Where they are now. Where they're faking it. Where they're pretending they are us.
So they are not on fake land, people. They are on the real McCoy, and they're trotting it down as we speak. Now, back to this vision. We were walking through this river, and this river turned out to be the Jordan River. So what does that mean? Well, I'm going to give you my understanding, and you can label it any way you want, and you can even develop your own understanding, but this is what I see. We're going to cross the Jordan again. That means the second Exodus cannot be very far away. There was a reason I saw this vision, this image. And let me tell you this, honestly, so help me Creator. Before I had that vision, I had never seen this before. And the next morning when I woke up, I don't remember why I was Googling Doodle, but I did. I went to the computer and I Googled Doodle, and this image popped up, and it freaked the living crap out of me. It shook me so I screamed at my wife, told her, you got to come see this. But y'all see these lines and cracks and lumps and bumps in here? I saw all of that. This image is exactly what I saw in my vision, and I have never seen this before. That was the first time, and I saw it in a vision. I'd never seen it in real life. Now you tell me that wouldn't freak you out.
So tell them what's under there.
What's under this image? This is where Azazel and all the fallen angels that were struck down during the era
You know,
of Enoch. This is their prison. This is their prison. Now, I believe the reason I saw each one of us stepping on this, at the time I thought it was some kind of eye, and then I thought it was a stone. They were stepping on this with their right foot. They were crushing the head of the serpent. And guess what? Azazel is the serpent.
and
Wow.
it was told in Genesis.
I could not believe this. Now I fully understand what this vision, this was not a dream, this was a vision. This was a vision straight from the mouth and hand of the Creator himself.
And the Creator made a connection in your vision with the river and Dudael
Yeah.
by crossing the river and stepping on Azazel. This is the last Exodus.
Yeah.
That's the reason why this is very important. Now, there is a story, I don't know if anybody's heard of this story, but it's in the Bible about when Joshua, it's in Joshua. When Joshua crossed the Jordan River,
Jordan River.
he was told by the Creator to put 12 stones in the middle of the Jordan River. And then after everybody crossed over, the waters rose again and covered them up. And it says that those stones are there to this day.
To this very day. To this very day.
So he mixed the Dudael and the Jordan River in his vision. So he's stepping on Azazel and he's crossing the Jordan River, bringing them to the land that the Creator promised Israel.
Man, look, I have been struggling for months. This vision has tugged at me day and night ever since I had this vision. And I knew there was something to it. I don't know why it's just now coming, but this stuff is real, y'all. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. I cannot see something that I've never seen before. I cannot. And I described this to my wife before I looked it up on Google. And I told her it was a grayish, looked like grayish skin, and there was an eyeball in the center, which is right here, looking at me. And I was looking back at it. But it wasn't an eye, it was an image of the prison of Azazel and the other fallen angels. And man, when I realized that, I'm gonna tell you the truth. When me and my wife was talking about this a couple of hours ago, it brought tears to my eye. I mean, I'm kind of welling up right now because I feel the urgency. I don't know how to put it in words, but I feel this is urgent. Y'all got to start watching what's going on around you. Pay attention. Things is about to get real ugly. We watch what's going on around the world from right here. And we're not just watching the U.S., we're watching France, we're watching Africa, we're watching Europe, we're watching everybody, China, you name it. We're watching it all. And I'm hoping that y'all are doing the same thing because listen, you don't want to wait until the last minute to make your mind up what you need to do. You need to be doing that right now. Something big, very, very big is just around the corner. There was something else I wanted to mention. Oh man, I hate it when that's part of getting old.
What about Burkina Faso?
Oh, that's it. I wanted to talk to you guys about Burkina Faso. That is a country in Africa that is very significant to the rise of Judah. We were looking at Ezekiel chapter 37, and we just lost power. We were looking at Ezekiel chapter 37 and Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 20. Those scriptures fit this time that we're in like a hand in a glove. I mean, you got to really pay attention to what you read, but man, it fits like a hand in a glove. So, y'all need to realize something. I think it was in Ezekiel when the Creator says that He will call the other nations. He will. The way He put it was, "I will put hooks in their jaws and pull them." All right, He's calling them into battle, and that battle is going to be among the other nations. They're all going to be fighting each other. Now, I want y'all to keep something in mind. We are hidden. This is why we shouldn't be loud and so exposed. We should be low key. We need to let the Creator fight this war for us. We don't have a military. We don't have an army. But Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore, who took the country through a coup d'etat, which was the best thing that ever happened to that part of the country. He is now offered citizenship to any African and Jamaican American to come home without a visa. Y'all, this is historical. This is groundbreaking history.
What's the warning to Trump?
He told Trump just today, Traore told Trump, stay away from the black African Americans. Y'all better hear me, man. This is at the top. It's no longer some joke or some time that we can. I'm not sure if I'm still recording or not, because the new internet that we have goes out when the power goes out, and I'm showing that we don't have internet. So I assume, because my camera's still working, that I'm still recording. I had so much more to say, but because I'm not sure if we have internet, I'm going to go ahead and close this. And I'll probably come back live later on and pick up from here. So until then, shalom, family. All peace.